Welcome back to Crypto Toro. On today's live stream, I would like to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other coins, especially the coins that you guys want me to be discussing during this live stream. But I will start right away with Bitcoin. And yes, of course, everyone knows about it. The huge dump of today's price action in Bitcoin. It's just incredible. We can look at it, and I'm still actually a little bit in shock about it because we see this huge downtrend on Bitcoin, this huge price action, a drop towards approximately, let's take a quick look, $46,878. It was a huge dump today on the cryptocurrency space and especially on Bitcoin. And what we are seeing over here is actually that this is a rising wedge, and this pattern is a pattern. It can be seen as a continuation pattern of the previous trend. So you can look at it at this part. This was a downtrend. The previous trend was a downtrend, and the rising wedge showed us that it was a continuation pattern of this downtrend, and right now it dropped all the way back to previous resistance levels. Previous support levels at approximately $48,866. So that's where we're currently trading at. And of course, you can see a rising wedge pattern also as a reversal pattern. It can tend rising wedge can break out either up or downwards, but this time it broke, unfortunately, towards the downside. And what we are currently seeing is Bitcoin finding support on this previous level of support over here. And as well, if you will look further back, it's a level where we have been trading at many times before. So that means that this is a level where we have critical support, and I'm personally thinking that we won't be seeing Bitcoin drop even further. But if Bitcoin does drop further down below this rising wedge pattern, I think it will not be that probable, especially because once we measure the rising wedge patterns, most of the time it tends to break down towards the beginning of the rising wedge, and that's at exactly the same level where we're trading at right now. So this is my personal opinion about how Bitcoin is looking right now, but it could be possible that Bitcoin could be heading towards even lower digits, and that we will see this trend continuing during the upcoming days. But if it does so, I don't think Bitcoin will be dropping all the way down towards the $41,089, because I think we will be finding resistance at this we will be finding support at this level at $44,725, especially because, as you can see, during the previous uptrend, once we broke down below, we found supports on this level once we broke through it. So I think this is a huge level of support that we will be seeing where we will be seeing Bitcoin have a little bit more difficulty breaking through if Bitcoin won't stop going down during the upcoming days. But I personally think this won't be the case, especially because the dump of today, as we all know, was partially caused by Elon Musk, who decided to dump and just to sell a huge amount of his portfolio. We don't know exactly how much, but I personally think he sold a lot of his portfolio to create such a price action in the chart. It must have been a huge transaction what we were seeing. I think this is especially bad for Bitcoin because the media right now is sending mostly negative messages out, and lots of people think there isn't enough encouragement on Bitcoin. But I personally think that we will be seeing Bitcoin head towards new all-time highs anytime soon once it recovers after this drop. But I will measure for you by using the Fibonacci retracement levels where we will be seeing Bitcoin heading towards in the upcoming days. So as you can see, we are right now currently trading right in between the two levels, the two Fibonacci levels of 0 at $47,176 and $51,367. So we are currently trading in between these levels, actually just a little bit above this candle. The wick of this candle decided to test this support on the Fibonacci level of $47,176. But I personally think we won't be seeing Bitcoin head even further down. And if it does so, I personally hope and I'm expecting that Bitcoin will find support in between this level, this Fibonacci level, or the support level underneath it at approximately $46,480. So that's what I personally think that Bitcoin will be doing. Just in the short term, it will be trying to recover itself by trading sideways during the upcoming hours. And if it doesn't do so, I will be minding these levels over here at approximately $41,000. So if Bitcoin breaks all the way down to $41,000, once again, then I will start looking at which type of scenario it will be, which type of scenario will be playing itself at that certain moment. But right now, I'm just thinking that Bitcoin will trade in between these two Fibonacci levels and find support mostly on the previous support where today's first downtrend actually ended at this support level at approximately $48,922. So that's my personal opinion, and after Bitcoin finds support, we will see an accumulation phase of probably a few days or maybe just one day. It depends on the amount of momentum that there is currently in the crypto space market, and that is why I will also like to activate the MACD. And right now what we're currently seeing in the MACD, that the current downtrend hasn't stopped yet. As you can see over here on the MACD, this is what we are looking at right now, and I personally think it does look like the crossover on the MACD won't be anytime soon, as you can see over here, especially because the blue and the red line haven't crossed yet, and when they do, momentum towards the upside is most likely to start happening. But right now this crossover isn't there yet, and I personally think we will have to wait a little bit longer to see a recovery of Bitcoin at this certain moment. And that's why I'm looking at this Fibonacci level at the 0 to look if Bitcoin can find support on it on the $47,176. So I think this is a very important level. And also I would like to show you the relative strength index, the RSI, just to back up this theory. Further, as you can see on the relative strength index, you are seeing something a little bit different than on the MACD, because if we look at the purple range, well, the purple background VChain. I will start talking about VChain in just a few minutes, but as you can see on the relative strength index, Bitcoin dropped down below the dotted line, and once it does so, it means that it's actually oversold, and the RSI is one of the indicators that always tries to stay in between the dotted lines in the purple area. And you see right now we are trading down below the dotted line, and I think this will mean that Bitcoin will start seeing an recovery on the RSI, and that strength will come back, especially because right now this is not a really significant this is a really significant moment, and I personally think that we will see momentum towards the upside, but we will have to wait just for a few, maybe days. I personally prefer a few hours, but if it's just a few days, I think the relative strength index will go back up in between this purple area, and well, we will see a pullback of Bitcoin towards the upside. So, Luis Veda, you wanted me to talk about VChain, and I will be coming back to you just later on. I will like to, or actually, I can take a look at VChain right now. I will just remove this particular lines, but firstly, I would like to show you guys that as well on the 20-day moving average that I have right over here. You see that unfortunately Bitcoin right now is performing underneath the 20-day moving average, and when Bitcoin does so, we most of the time see that the downtrend is in that particular time, a downtrend is being created, so lower lows are being created each time, and right now I don't think it will be any difference, and that's why I'm still looking very carefully at Bitcoin and looking if it's possible that Bitcoin will see any type of support at the current levels, approximately around the $48,978. So let's look at VChain. So just one look. Let's start by looking at VChain over here. VChain. I'm personally not a huge fan of VChain. I've looked at VChain before, and I think it's a really, as you can see as well on CoinMarketCap, it's a young asset, and I'm personally not a big and huge fan of it, but I will start looking it up for you. And as you can see, I will start by the VChain compared to the US dollar, but it's not working. So VET USD, so just VET USD, VChain, this should be working. So let's take a quick look. Yes, right now it's working. And what we're currently seeing on the VChain chart is actually something very interesting, because as well, it's not really something that huge, because like most of the altcoins, VChain also dropped when Bitcoin dropped on today's chart, and what we're currently seeing is that the price action of VChain is actually, in my personal opinion, not looking very great, especially because, as you can see, during this uptrend, VChain has not created a higher high, and personally, I think it's very bad that right now we are seeing a new lower low being created, and that's why I would like to start by looking at the RSI to look if a type of pattern is right over there, and I'm personally not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence at this particular moment. Or, well, let's take a look. Yeah, well, if we look at the bigger picture, it might be possible. No, right now we are not seeing any type of bullish divergence or bearish divergence on the relative strength index on the VChain chart. But what we are going to look at right now is the levels of support and resistance for VChain and looking if VChain will be finding support anytime soon. But I will start by placing a Fibonacci level, and I will place that one on the swing low at the start of this bull run. I will be placing it just in January, on the 1st of January, of the 2nd of January. Yes, over here, and selecting the highest top, so from swing low towards the swing high. This is very important to look at the levels during an uptrend, and what I'm currently looking at is that VChain is right now trading on top of the 0.318 Fibonacci level, and this level is most of the times a level that I'm personally very curious about, because this is the golden pocket entry, and it means that right now we are just a little bit above this half of the trend. So if VChain will find support on these levels, I personally think that it still looks well for the current moment and space, and the overall crypto market is as well still heading up. So that's why I think that VChain could be performing very well, but I'm not very happy about this significant price drop on VChain, especially after today's price drop, when we are seeing a huge downtrend being created with several lower lows on the VChain chart, as you can see right over here. Lower low, and right now the newest lower low being created. But let's take a quick look as well at the EMA ribbon to just make sure we aren't missing anything at this particular moment. But as well on the EMA ribbon, what we're seeing, and as you can see as well on the previous, if we look at previous data in the past, once the shorts take over the long positions on the EMA ribbon, as they did on this particular part of the chart as well, you can see, I will be zooming in just at this part over here. I wanted to show you something a little bit further, but it was a little bit too far. But as you can see over here, once the shorts take over, most of the times a downtrend is being created. And right now, this is exactly what is happening on the VChain chart. And I personally think this is very important because the shorts just took over. I think it will be quite difficult for VChain to find any type of support on these levels right away. But I hope that VChain will stay at the current level on the Fibonacci retracement level of 0.382, the golden pocket entry, and otherwise it will be staying at this part. I think it is good to know that the current support of the current price where VChain has found support is a very, very, very well heavy support. You can see that it's very heavy support, especially because it already found support several times at this particular level, over here, and as well over here. So if VChain would break down even further, I think personally I would try to think what I would do at that moment, and I would still look at these levels, especially looking if VChain finds support and decides to break back up and goes through this resistance level where it's trading currently just underneath. I think if it finds support over there, it would be very possible, especially because we saw as well, it was on the golden pocket entry, that it will be heading up once again. Yeah, further, I can see that there was a type of rising wedge being created on the VChain chart, and VChain chart, as you can see over here, it was a type of broadening wedge that we were seeing over here, and unfortunately it dropped down below this pattern that we were seeing on the VChain chart. As well, as I showed you before, it was also a wedge, a rising wedge that we were seeing on Bitcoin, where Bitcoin dropped down below. So I personally think if Bitcoin finds support on the current levels, that VChain will be finding support as well at the current levels where it's at right now. And that's why I would like to take a look at VChain compared to Bitcoin. Right now I'm looking at VChain compared to, no, it did not work. Sorry for that. VChain compared to Bitcoin. And right now I will be switching over to this chart. So right away, what I'm currently looking at is at a descending triangle on the VChain chart. And I'm personally not a huge fan of these patterns, especially because these patterns tend to break down towards the downside, and I do not like when cryptocurrencies fall all the way down. So just to show you what the possible scenario would be for VChain if it tended to break towards the downside, just let's take a quick look by placing my measurement from the highest point of the descending triangle towards the horizontal support line underneath, and I will be placing it also right over here. If it does so, we will be seeing a price action of VChain of approximately, let's take a quick look, let's measure this, how much percentages it will be heading down. It would be a drop of approximately 28%, and I personally think this is a huge drop. So my personal opinion on VChain right now is that you have to be very careful and just look at how VChain will be performing at this current levels right over here, and if VChain could find support on it. Just to take one more look at VChain, I will be placing once again the Fibonacci retracement level, and I will enable the RSI in just one moment before going even further to the XRP chart requested by Devil Deal. So let's take a quick look over here, and where I'm looking at right now are the possible levels of extension where VChain, if it does not break towards the downside, where it will be heading towards. And what I'm looking at right over here is if VChain does find support on this horizontal support line of the descending triangle, I think VChain will be breaking through this downward sloping resistance line and will go up afterwards. And if it breaks even further through the 0.382 Fibonacci level at this particular point and finds support on this level, that would be great, but I personally do not think this will be happening. What I think that will be more probable if VChain breaks through this downward sloping resistance line of this descending triangle is that VChain will break through and will bounce off this 0.318 resistance at the Fibonacci level and will find support on this previous resistance level of this downward sloping resistance of the triangle, and as well finding support on the 0.236 level of the Fibonacci extension. That's just my personal opinion, of course, but that's because I do not see any type of bullish reversal, and as well it's very difficult to unsee this descending triangle on the VChain chart, and I'm personally not a huge fan of descending triangles because they tend to break out towards the downside, but of course it is possible that VChain will find enough momentum towards the upside, and that is why I will be enabling the relative strength index to take a look and see if we are seeing any type of bullish reversal or bearish. But like I'm looking at it right now and I'm not seeing anything significant for VChain at this particular moment, but I will be opening just the last thing, and that would be the MACD. And what we are seeing on the MACD on the VChain compared to Bitcoin chart on the 4-hourly time frame is that the MACD will almost have a crossover in just the upcoming hours, and once the MACD has a crossover, it is very likely that we will see a slight momentum towards the upside being created on the VChain chart, and that might be enough for VChain to break above this downward sloping resistance line and finding support on it. So that's my personal opinion on VChain for the moment, and that's why I will right now go further with this live stream, and I will look at what Devil Deal is saying. Will XRP reach $2.70 before ADA reaches 3? I don't know if I should sell my ADA for XRP. Okay, that's a very good question, Devil Deal, and that's why I will be heading right now towards XRP. I'm a huge fan of XRP, so this is just something I wanted to tell you, but I'm actually as well a huge fan of Cardano. But I will start by looking at XRP, and I've looked at XRP lately, and I'm personally thinking that XRP will be breaking out of this pattern that I have already drawn. And on this pattern, what you're seeing, Luis, no problem, just short, no problem. I really appreciated that you joined this live stream. If you like the content, don't forget to press those thumbs up and give me a like. Thank you very much. So let's get back to XRP. What I'm looking at right now is a symmetrical triangle being created, and a symmetrical triangle, as I've said before, is a triangle that most of the time follows the pattern that we have seen before. And on XRP, the pattern that we have seen before is an upwards going momentum, and it was a huge run towards the upside, and that's why I personally think that we will see XRP going even further up in the upcoming days. And as you can see, what I'm waiting for is something like this. I'm personally waiting for XRP to break through this downward sloping resistance line and finding support on it, and after that we will see a move towards the upside of approximately 35%, as I showed you as well on the video of XRP that I just uploaded several minutes ago. So if you want to have even more information about XRP and an even broader analysis, don't forget to look at the video so you can have even better information about the current situation and the current market of the XRP movement. So just to show you, I will measure this triangle for you, and after that I will be placing this measurement tool to look at this 66% move towards the upside on the XRP chart. Why I personally think that this will be very likely to happen is, of course, as well because of the current momentum that we have seen on XRP. XRP has been performing very well. It has been trading just absolutely marvelous in between these lines of this symmetrical triangle, and if this move goes all the way up, I think we will be seeing in the short term a XRP price of $2.60, and yeah, it would probably go to $2.70 if we take a look at the Fibonacci levels, and that's why I will be placing the Fibonacci levels as well right over here. Yes, and as you can see, the Fibonacci levels of extension could be over here. So I personally think $2.70 is possible. Of course it will be possible, But for the short term, I'm actually more sure that XRP will stay at this particular point. That is approximately at $2.57. So that's my personal opinion. But if you think that XRP could be going to $2.70 and the short term, that's as well very nice, and it still is a huge opportunity to place a long position on XRP at this certain point. So this is my personal opinion right now on the XRP compared to the US dollar, and I will right now switch to the XRP chart compared to Bitcoin. And what we are seeing right over there is actually a even more significant pattern. It's actually an ascending triangle being created. XRP already had 3 touch points on this upwards sloping support line over here, and I think this is just really significant, but because how more touch points we see on the patterns, how more significant the pump towards the upside will be. And that's why I'm looking at XRP with a lot of joy at this particular moment. As well, what I personally think why I would be investing a little bit more in XRP at this particular time is because you can see that just in a matter of hours we will see once again a crossover on the MACD. I'm not sure that you guys can look at it completely the right way, so that's why I'm placing it a little bit different. If we will see a crossover on the MACD, it is probable that we will see a slight momentum towards the downside on XRP, but after that we will see a crossover once again, and once that crossover comes, we will see a huge momentum towards the upside being created. Of course, that's my personal opinion, but I think this because we have already seen huge momentum towards the downside on the XRP chart, and if you look at this, we are already placing higher highs on the MACD, and the MACD is a momentum indicator, and once there is momentum towards the upside, I think XRP will be able to break through this horizontal level of resistance over here. And once it does break through this horizontal level of resistance, I'm personally waiting for XRP to find support on it, and after that we will see that huge move that I just showed you of approximately 66% towards the upside on the XRP chart. So I think that's really amazing to look at, and that's my personal opinion right now on the XRP. Just to take a quick look, I will go back to the XRP compared to the US dollar chart over here, and I will place the relative strength index, so the RSI, for you to just take a quick look, and so we can be completely sure, yeah, what I was already looking at. And you can take a look here at the RSI, and what you are seeing immediately is that we are on the lowest point on the RSI, trading just above the dotted line on the RSI, in between the purple box. And once we trade in between the purple box on the lower side, what we will be seeing is that the strength will increase in the upcoming days, and that's why I personally think that it is just so likely and so probable that we will be seeing XRP pumping towards the upside anytime soon. But just to make sure to give you the best analysis possible, I will switch over towards the Cardano price chart and will give you my personal opinion on it. So what we're currently seeing, what I personally draw here, is a parallel channel, and parallel channels are indicators that the previous trend will be, once again, it's just a trend. I'm very sorry, it's a it is just, I'm sorry guys, but this parallel channel indicates that we saw the previous trend of Cardano was towards the upside, and most of the time when we see a parallel channel being created, it is an indicator that the previous trend will still go further during the upcoming days after a period of accumulation on this particular level. And that's what already happened on Cardano, and that's what we're seeing right now, that Cardano broke through this parallel channel and is going all the way up to new higher levels. So if we take a look at the RSI, what we're currently seeing is nothing very special, but if you take a look over here, the RSI is a little bit further towards the upper part of the dotted line on the purple box, and this is an indicator that we will be losing strength once Cardano breaks above the dotted line, because what you can see in the past, you can see once Cardano or each type of coin breaks above the dotted line on the RSI, and the next days following up are always days when the coin decides to just lose strength, and as well the price will go down. So I'm personally waiting for Cardano to go above the dotted line, and after that dropping back and also losing a bit of strength. And of course, if Cardano loses strength, it also will be seen on the price action of Cardano. What I will be placing for you to look at it even better will be a Fibonacci retracement level, so we can take a look at where Cardano could be heading towards in the upcoming days. I will be selecting the swing high towards the swing low, and where I'm personally right now very curious about is if Cardano has enough momentum right now, right away, to go through this level of support, of resistance over here at the 1.618 Fibonacci level and find support on it. If Cardano does so, Cardano would be trading at $2.03, and I personally think that this is a huge move for Cardano right now, because if Cardano establishes a new higher low, the upwards momentum will still proceed, and it is very likely that after that we will see Cardano once again moving up towards the $3. But I personally think that XRP right now is less overextended, and that XRP is more likely to go up in the upcoming days, but that's just my personal opinion right now. And what I just switched over to the Cardano compared to Bitcoin chart, and what we are seeing here is that Cardano is actually very overextended on this chart, and it means especially, oh, this is my fault. I wanted to place a Fibonacci retracement, but what I'm looking at is this Cardano price action. We are currently as well seeing that a wick, that a red candle is being created, and I'm not completely sure, but this candle is very likely, as you can see, it might be possible that this will become a hammer candle, and once a hammer candle is above a uptrend, as you could see over here, it's very likely that a momentum switch will be created. And if a momentum switch is created right now, I'm personally hoping that Cardano will find support on the 0.236 level, Fibonacci level, and otherwise I think Cardano will fall all the way back towards the 0.382, the golden pocket entry. And if Cardano finds support on the golden pocket entry, I think this is a very, very good level to keep an eye on, because I think that's a very good spot for Cardano to still create a higher low and to proceed with this uptrend like it has been doing on the previous weeks. So that's just how Cardano looks right now for me. And just to not forget everything what we're seeing, I will be switching on to the MACD, and yeah, you can I'm sorry, to the relative strength index. And what you're seeing right now on Cardano is that, yes, on the Cardano compared to Bitcoin chart, Cardano already broke through the dotted line on the RSI, and as I told you before, once it breaks above the dotted line, it's very likely that the strength, that Cardano will lose strength, and once Cardano loses strength as well, the price action will be towards the downside. And that's what I'm right now just looking at Cardano, and I personally think that just for the upcoming days, XRP is a better choice than Cardano. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If anyone still has any type of questions and would like me to discuss a particular coin, please don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, I will be leaving this live stream right away. Always a good analyze. Great to see you for a second time today. Yes, thank you very much. No problem. I will be having way more live streams during the upcoming days. If you have any type of questions or any type of requests for me, as well for videos that you would like me to give a technical analysis, a fundamental analysis of a particular coin or a hidden gem that you spotted on the charts and you would like me to analyze the gem for you as well, don't hesitate to ask. And I would really appreciate it if you leave a comment down below in the comment section, and as well if you could subscribe to the channel and even like this video. So have a nice day. Okay, T. Schult, you wanted me to look at Matic, so this will be my last request for today. I would look at Matic. Just 1 second. Let's take a look at Matic here and let's look at how it's doing. So you are talking about Polygon, right? I think Polygon is an extremely, no, this is not what I'm... So, Polygon here. Polygon. Yes, I think this is extremely good coin, and especially I'm not sure if you saw the news about Polygon, about Matic. It is extremely good to know. I'm just not well prepared for Matic at this particular moment, but I wanted to make a video about Matic because Matic, it's just insane how good it will be performing during the upcoming days, especially because we are seeing a market cap of already 10 billion. It's a big market cap, but what I think is really interesting about Polygon and Matic is that they are striving to make the transactions fees on the Ethereum chain through their own network way cheaper, and also it will be possible for lots of different projects to start their projects and use the Polygon in frame network to have even cheaper fees. And I think this is very important for the future, because that's why I wanted to make a video about Polygon, because I think this is just huge news. And especially as you can see, the huge amount of fees that you have to pay right now currently on Ethereum, they are just unbelievably high, and the gas fees will be way cheaper on Matic, and they are already having lots of great projects at this particular moment. So I will take a look at Polygon right away, and I will start by looking at the Matic compared to the US dollar chart. So what I'm currently seeing at this particular moment is, especially if we look just right now at the Matic chart, we are seeing a descending triangle being created. And yes, of course, I'm not a huge fan of descending triangles, as I said before, but once a descending triangle is being created during an uptrend, it is likely that the descending triangle will break out towards the upside instead of towards the downside. It could be also possible that we will be seeing this descending triangle dropping back down, but that's not what I personally think that will be happening, especially not with the huge bullish news that you can find about Polygon and about how it will be performing in the upcoming days and weeks, especially with the great launch of their new network that they are planning to be using anytime shortly. So if this is a pump towards the upside, I think the move will be not very spectacular because it's as well a really small move that we're looking at, and I think we will be just maybe finding a possibility to go above this level of resistance and finding support on it, and that would be a really great actual target for me for the current moment for Polygon, especially because if Polygon goes up above this resistance line and finds support on it, once again we will be seeing higher lows being created, and once we see higher lows being created on a chart, it means that an uptrend is still going on, and it's just extremely good to see. Well, you are saying, Legend, then let's hope the market stays in an uptrend. Of course the market will stay in an uptrend. I'm personally not scared at all about what Elon Musk just did today, or well, maybe many investors did today by creating a huge drop on the Bitcoin network. But I'm not scared at all because I know that just one individual won't be wrecking the entire crypto market and the crypto space. It's just not realistic at all, and that's why I still am very bullish and still just I think it's just a big opportunity to buy Bitcoin at very cheap prices. And as well, I think the overall market will be heading upward during the upcoming weeks. So I'm not hesitating at all. I'm just actually glad that we have the opportunity to buy at these cheap prices once again and to increase the size of our crypto portfolio right away. So what I'm seeing right over here is if we draw this down, this upward sloping support line, you can see that yes, the trend of Polygon broke underneath it, but it found as well support on previous resistance levels. So this is very important. But as well, if we take a look at this uptrend, it is very possible that if Polygon breaks through the small descending triangle that I just showed you towards the upside and it finds support on the previous resistance levels, that we will be seeing Polygon once again trade sideways, and it will eventually find his way towards this uptrend line. And once it reaches once again this uptrend line, I think we will be seeing a move towards the upside being created. What I wanted to show you as well is especially the RSI. I'm a huge fan of the RSI because on the RSI you can always take a look at how it is currently performing, and you can take a look at the RSI right now, and what you're seeing is, oh, I moved the chart a little bit too far. And what you're seeing on the RSI currently is that yes, we broke through this dotted line, this upper dotted line, and right now we are losing strength, and that's why the price action of Polygon is right now just, well, I personally think it's trading, for my personal opinion, it's trading sideways because it's still trading in between these lines of support and resistance, and once it does so, it is just an accumulation phase. So I don't think this is very significant at the moment. And I do not see any type of, well, I do see a bearish I'm very sorry, it is just a little bit further this way. Yeah, and you can see that we created a higher high on the price chart of Polygon compared to the US dollar, and we as well created a lower high on the RSI, and that's why this is a bearish, I'm sorry, this is a bearish type of this is an indication that we will be having a possible bearish turn towards the downside. So that's why I want to draw once again this descending triangles, just to make sure to let you know what it is, what will possibly happen to Polygon if Polygon tends to break towards the downside instead that towards the upside. So if it doesn't break towards the upside, as I showed you before, Polygon could be breaking towards the downside, and if it does so out of this quite small descending triangle, it will be heading towards this level over here, and it is very possible that it will stay here, especially if it trades above this level of previous support, as you can see over here. So I think this is an important level of support, especially because Polygon already found support on it. So right now, for the upcoming days, I personally think it's still looking good. As well, I'm counting as well this bearish reversal that we are seeing here on the RSI, but I don't think it is a real big deal for this moment, especially if Bitcoin as well chooses to recover from this dump very quickly. If Bitcoin chooses to go down even further, it will be quite probable that we will see Polygon heading towards this previous level of support and finding support on it once again, and then we will be see a Polygon of approximately $80. I will just take a look lastly to the Polygon compared to Bitcoin chart. Let's take a quick look. Yes, here we are. And yes, on the Polygon compared to Bitcoin chart, we are taking a look, and I think, yes, we are seeing still a huge uptrend. It is likely for Polygon that it will be trading sideways, but if it doesn't do so, it is probable that we will be seeing Polygon go back towards previous levels of support and resistance. And if it does so, yes, I would be putting in a buy order on previous support. That would be a real good thing to do once we break down towards that level that I showed you before on the dollar, on the Polygon compared to dollar chart. But I personally hope that we will be going up, as I showed you before, out of the descending triangles towards the upside and finding support right above the current all-time high. So that would be even greater. And if we find support on that level, as I just showed you, above where we were currently trading at, I think that's a great place to start a buy order, because after that we will be seeing a huge momentum towards the upside being created on the Polygon chart. That's why I will be also activating the MACD, and as you can see on the MACD, it is likely that right now on the Bitcoin compared to Polygon chart, we will start seeing a momentum towards the downside being created, especially because right now on the MACD we are seeing a crossover of the momentum indicators, and if it does so, I think that Polygon will be going down towards the level over here, just above these just above where it, just above previous resistance, and then we would be finding support on this level over here. So this is just my live stream for now, and I will see you guys tomorrow during the live streams. Don't forget to like this live stream if you enjoyed the content that I was making, and I really hope that you subscribe to the channel and have a nice day. So peace up, guys. Goodbye.